their way to a mini market in their neighborhood. They're shot and killed. Sheriffs find 4 shell casings at the scene, and there are no leads. A Good Samaritan goes to help a motorist who apparently is stranded on the side of the road, but she's just there to set up the Good Samaritan. There's an attempted robbery. He tries to run. He's shot. He's killed. 5 shell casings found at the scene, and there are no leads. Well, it is unconscionable to me that there are no leads, when we have the technology to create leads in all these cases, because these shell casings say, the gun that shot me is this one. And in California, we have a list of every gun that was sold in California. We precisely know who bought the gun. So this bill would be very important to law enforcement for 2 reasons. First, it helps solve crimes, but also does something else. One of the principal means by which gang members get guns is through people who are called straw purchasers. Straw purchasers are legally allowed to buy guns, then they walk out on the street and resell them illegally on the street. That's a major source of crime guns in California. Well, if my bill were in place, and a straw purchaser knew that on walking into that store, that if that gun was resold and fired, the lead would be traced right back to him, that person is going to be meaningfully deterred from running guns in the first place. This is why this bill is supported by the largest number of law enforcement officials I've ever seen supporting a single bill in California. There are 65 police chiefs and sheriffs around California. The California Police Chiefs Association, which almost never endorses gun-related measures, is a supporter of this. You might have seen that last week Senator Feinstein sent a letter to Governor Schwarzenegger urging that he sign this bill. I did a demonstration of this. I'm not going to belabor this much further, but I want to impress on you the importance of this. I did a demonstration at the police academy about this bill about 3 weeks ago. And not only was the place jam-packed with TV cameras from here, but Der Spiegel from Germany was here to cover this, because this technology has the potential to transform how guns are dealt with around the world and not just here. So if you have an interest, a good thing to pass along to me, because I can then have you pass this along to the governor on whose desk this bill sits. I will tell you that I don't think this ought to be a partisan measure. Republicans and Democrats should be supporting the idea that a crime-fighting tool that can actually help solve important crimes be available to law enforcement around the state of California. The National Rifle Association vigorously opposes this bill. And I will tell you, I've invited them to help. They oppose the bill, and I will say here, and many people here I know own guns, there is no threat to legitimate gun owners posed by this bill. The technology will increase the price of a gun by somewhere between $3 and $6 a gun. It's nothing. And I think it's time that those of us who believe in solving crimes and in preventing situations where a mom has to stand up and talk about the death of her high school-age son, I think it's time that we stand up and say that we govern the state of California and not the NRA. So, for what it's worth. Very important bill. I think the bill number is AB 1471. And my intelligence is that the governor is going to take this up next week. Pro or con, here it comes. I have 3 other bills among those that I have on the governor's desk. I'm not going to discuss all of them. I have 3 other bills that I would like your help with. And they're on very different subjects. Many of you know that before I became a member of the city council, so this is way before I was on the state assembly, I was the director of a wonderful program called BetSedec, which means House of Justice. The only work of BetSedec is this: to, without ever charging anybody a penny, BetSedec provides free legal work, principally to senior citizens and people who are disabled, when they're confronting the most difficult problems they've ever faced, but they can't afford a lawyer. It's a wonderful program. We had 50,000 clients when I was the director there over 8 years. So when I was directing BetSedec, one of the projects I was most proud of was our nursing home project. It was a project to help senior citizens who were being abused or neglected in nursing homes. Because of that project, many people came to us who were not our clients, simply asking for practical information, how to find a nursing home for a loved one that will make them feel, that the family feel secure and the loved one be safe and well cared for. And I knew there was almost no objective information anywhere. We created a booklet there called the Nursing Home Companion, which helps. But it's not the same thing as having objective information. So for 15 years, I have wanted to do what I can now do because I'm now in the state legislature. And so I've authored a bill that has passed both houses with bipartisan support on the governor's desk, and the bill would create for the first time a rating system for nursing homes online that anybody could gain access to, that compares nursing homes to each other. Which one is excellent versus merely good when it comes to the ratio between nurses and patients? Which nursing homes have had more deficiencies, more complaints that have been verified than others? Which are in good financial condition so they're not going to go out of business while your loved one is there? Stuff like that. That would really matter to you, practically speaking. Has anybody here had to find a nursing home for a loved one? Anybody? Do you find this, was this an easy thing or a hard thing to do? It was excruciating, right? At that most emotional moment, you had the least information possible. Would it benefit you to have a consumer report style rating system that the government put online that objectively told you what was good and what wasn't? Would that be helpful to you? I think it would be very helpful. It's a practical matter. So this bill is on the governor's desk. I will tell you that the bill has opposition, not from the nursing home industry. It's interesting. The private nursing homes came to see me. They have a group up there when I first introduced the bill. And they said, you know, this bill is going to take at least 2 years. We're going to oppose this bill. It's not going to pass this year. And I said to them, I personally, not my staff, I will sit down with you every week with every line of this bill under discussion until you eliminate your opposition. And it's gone. No opposition from them anymore. But the Department of Public Health opposes the bill. They oppose the bill because it's too much work. And so what I must tell you that if you're going to prevent abuse and neglect, the best way to do it is to give consumers information so they can choose the good places, right? So too much work, yuck. So I need you, need is a strong word, to just give me your email. I'll send you a way to go right to the governor's website, and I have a sample letter. Just have a couple of clicks of your mouse on your computer, and you're done. Or place a phone call and just say, I support AB 398. Please sign the bill. The other nursing home bill I want to mention to you, because I have two bills that are companions of each other, is a bill that is very simple. The Department of Public Health has an internal policy that they do not always follow. The policy will be important to those of you who have loved ones in nursing homes. The policy says that we have to investigate a complaint and conclude the investigation in 40 days. My bill says that should be the law of the state. That bill is not literally opposed in formal ways by the department, but they don't like it. And they're concerned about liability. What if there's a standard that's in law? And I have to say, as a lawyer, my approach to the world is, look, we can in government be interested in one of two things. We can be interested in trying to avoid liability at all costs or actually help people. On whose side do you stand? For helping people, I bet. AB 399, I need your help on these two bills. And so I'm telling you, if people don't weigh in, the governor will think that people don't care. And if he thinks people don't care, the path of least resistance is not to say yes, it's to say no. I think they're very open in the administration about all these bills. But openness is not the same thing as we're signing it. The last bill I want to mention is of a very different nature. And it's a bill that I decided to introduce after watching the Today Show. There are two things I've done as a public official because of the Today Show. One was I saw a story as a city council member about a pilot program back east to create a 311 non-emergency phone number so you can have easy access to city government and siphon non-emergency calls from 911. It took 5 years, but I'm very proud to have taken the lead.